Hello, and welcome to Sleepbound Tales. All the stories you'll hear here are written and created by me. Get comfortable and take a deep breath. In the next few minutes, you'll enter a world of calm and imagination where time seems to stand still. Let go of the thoughts of the day and join me on a journey into the quiet and the magic of storytelling. I hope you find relaxation and peace as we experience this tale together. Close your eyes if you like, and let's begin. The tea house in the rain. The rain had been falling for hours. Not a storm, not a drizzle, just that steady, thoughtful kind of rain that softens the edges of everything it touches. The kind that makes time slow down and the city quieter. People moved more gently under their umbrellas. Cars rolled past with a softened hum. The world, for a while, seemed wrapped in something slower, older, almost gentle. You were supposed to meet someone, maybe, or maybe you were only walking, waiting for the rain to stop or for the day to shift into something else. But it didn't. It kept raining, and your shoes were wet, and the streets were starting to feel unfamiliar, like a version of the city you hadn't seen before. That's when you saw the tea house. It sat just at the corner where the city's brick and stone began to give way to old wooden fences and overgrown gardens, a place where things felt less planned, more forgotten. The building looked aged but cared for. Wooden slats weathered to soft gray, windows fogged and warm with light from within. Above the door, hanging slightly crooked, was a wooden sign in faded gold paint. Tea, nothing more. You wouldn't have noticed it if not for the scent. Through the rain, something reached you. Warm spices, citrus peel, and something floral and faintly smoky. You stopped walking. The city behind you felt far away, and the rain didn't seem as cold anymore. You stepped inside. A bell above the door chimed, a soft, mellow sound, like something from a wind chime, rather than a shop. The interior was small but deep, the walls lined with shelves, stacked with tins, jars, and teapots of all shapes and sizes. Wooden tables with mismatched chairs stood under softly glowing lamps. Everything was warm wood and woven textures. Quiet music played somewhere in the background. Strings, maybe a piano, so gentle it almost wasn't there at all. And the scent, it was everywhere now. Sweet herbs, orange blossom, something earthy and ancient like dried bark or rain on stone. Behind the counter stood a woman, not young, not old, her hair pulled back in a dark braid. She wore no uniform, no apron, just a long sweater and a quiet expression. She looked up at you, and in that moment, it felt like she had been waiting for you. Not impatiently, just as if your arrival made sense. Out of the rain, she asked. You nodded. I didn't mean to. I just saw the sign. She smiled a little. Most people don't. You glanced back through the window. The street outside seemed more distant now. The rain softer. Inside, everything smelled like memory. Take your time, she said. Sit wherever you like. You chose a small table near the back, under a window where the light was diffused through lace curtains. There was a small vase on the table with one white flower inside, slightly wilted but still graceful. When she came to your table, she didn't bring a menu, just a teapot, small and round, and a single cup. The steam rose in lazy spirals. What is it? You asked. Something warm, she said. It listens before it speaks. You weren't sure what that meant, but when you lifted the cup, It was perfect. Not too hot, not too sweet. Something floral, something dark. You couldn't name the flavors, but they made sense together. The tea made you feel still. The woman sat down across from you, not intrusively, not like a server checking in, but like someone settling into a familiar rhythm. Most people who find this place, she said quietly, don't know they were looking for it. You didn't know how to answer, so you said, I was just walking. She tilted her head slightly, and thinking maybe. You hesitated, then nodded. A little. She smiled, not kindly, not knowingly, just softly. This place sits at the edge, she said, not just of the city, but of time, or memory, or maybe something else. It's a little different for everyone. You looked around. The walls seemed taller now, the shelves deeper. In the corner, you were sure a cat had moved, though you hadn't seen one. Is it always raining when people come here? Only when they need it to be? She stood again, walked slowly back to the counter, and left you with your tea and thoughts. You stayed there a long time. The rain kept falling, steady and unhurried. A couple entered at one point, speaking in whispers, their eyes tired but content. They were served without asking. Another person came in drenched, laughing softly to themselves, and sat at a far table with a steaming cup already waiting. No one hurried. No one asked for anything. The Teahouse provided. After a while, you noticed the small drawer under your table. It wasn't locked. Inside was a notebook, handwritten, pages filled with entries in different styles, stories, thoughts, reflections, all about the rain, or tea, or silence. Some entries were dated years apart. Some were unsigned. You flipped through it for a while, then found a blank page near the end. A pencil was tucked into the spine. You weren't sure why, but you began to write. Not much, just a few lines. Something about the warmth, the way the tea tasted like the last good memory of a place you forgot you loved, the way the silence made room for your thoughts without asking anything from them. When you finished, you slid the book back into the drawer. The cup was still half full, still warm. The scent hadn't faded. At some point, the woman returned. Will you stay? She asked. You looked out the window. The rain had lessened, but the world still looked wet and slow. You weren't sure what time it was. I don't know, you said. She nodded. That's all right. Some stay, some return, some only need one cup. You smiled a little. I think I needed this. She smiled back, more fully this time. Most people do. When you finally stood, the room felt lighter somehow, though the rain hadn't stopped. You stepped to the door. The bell chimed again, and the sound followed you out like a farewell. Outside, the rain still whispered against the pavement, but it no longer felt like something you were escaping. It was part of the air, the street, the rhythm of the world. You walked for a long time after that, not because you were lost, just because it felt good to walk. The rain in your hair, the warmth of the tea still in your chest. And when you passed that corner again, days later, weeks, maybe more, the tea house wasn't there. The street was the same, the fence, the trees, but the wooden sign was gone. The windows were dark. Still, the scent came back to you sometimes. In the rain, in the steam rising from a kettle, in the quiet moments between moments. And every so often, when the world grew too loud and the rain began to fall just right, you would find yourself turning down that same street just in case.